Hi movie lovers, welcome to World of Movies. Today we will be recapping a movie named Revel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification button, so that you can get notified of all our latest videos. Let's get started. The story unfolds in a peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy, on a planet named Velt. A woman named Cora is seen plaiting the soil, when a man named Gunnar came and invited her to join the feast in the village. Cora later joined the feast and all the villagers eat and had fun all night. The next morning, Cora and some villagers was spreading seeds in the field when a dreadnought from the mother world named the King's Gaze landed on their show. The ship was commanded by a brutal man named Admiral Atticus Noble. When Cora saw the ship, she knew that their village was in trouble. Noble entered the village and asked the villagers to supply his ship with grains. When the villagers refused, he killed the village chief and his wife and demanded that the villagers supply his ship with every grain that they will get in their next harvest. He then deployed some of his men and a robot named Jimmy to keep eye on the villagers, while he left the planet with his ship. While Jimmy the robot and the other soldier was moving their luggage to the stable, one of the soldier named Marcus told the commander that Jimmy's loyalty lies only in the past king, and since the king died, Jimmy refused to fight no matter the situation. To prove his point, Marcus attacked the robot and surely the robot didn't fight back, until a kind soldier named Private Eris stopped him. Jimmy went to the river to wash the mud off his body. A young girl from the village named Sam approached him and offered him a towel to clean the mud off his body. He thanked her. As both of them sat by the river, Jimmy told her the story of his past, and both of them became friends. Later, Cora is seen packing her things to leave the village, when one of the elder of the village with whom she stayed, tried convincing her to not leave the village, but she refused and continued to pack her things. Meanwhile, Marcus and the other soldiers has captured Sam and attempting to rip her. Private Eris the kind soldier, tried to stop them but he was beaten by the other soldier. Cora hears Sam screaming, and rushed to the stable to see what was going on. She got there and saw what was going on. She ordered them to stop, but the soldiers became inferior and one of them moved close to Cora. He pointed his gun to her head, and ordered her to give him the axe that was in her hand. Cora pretended to give him the axe, but grabbed his gun from his hand and used it against them. She killed each soldier instantly as they attacked her. Meanwhile, Private Eris managed to free himself and join Cora against the other soldier. Soon, all the soldier was dead except the commander, who held Sam hostage and insisted that if any of them make any move he was going to kill Sam. In that time Jimmy the robot entered. The commander ordered him to pick up a gun from the ground, and kill Cora and Private Eris. Jimmy picked the gun up but shoot the commander instead. Just then, all the villagers came to the stable and saw what has happened. They then realized that they had no choice but to prepare themselves for battle when Noble returned. But they knew that they alone stand no chance against the King Gaze of Noble. So Cora set off on a quest to seek help from a man named General Titus. He once fought against the Mother World. She also intended to recruit anyone who is willing to join her in the fight against the Mother World. She took Gunnar with her. On their way they stopped to rest. Cora then explained the story of her origin to Gunnar. She told him how when she was just 9 years old, a man named Balisaurus took her as his daughter, after he and his crew has murdered her entire family. He trained her and gave her the name Arthalize. In time, she became one of the best soldiers in the Mother World. After narrating the story, they both continued their journey. Soon, they arrived at a bar full of bounty hunters. While they was sitting in the bar, one of the bounty hunter approached her and offered to buy Gunnar. She told him that Gunnar was not for sale. The bounty hunter decided to put up resistance, but was subdued by Cora. She ordered him to leave the bar immediately. She asked the other bounty hunters if anyone knew where General Titus were. One of the bounty hunter told her that General Titus was on a planet at the edge of the galaxy named Pollux. Soon she was about to leave. The bounty hunter that she beat earlier came back with his friends and attacked her. She fought them bravely and soon, all the other bounty hunters joined the fight against her, but with her skills she was able to defeat them, until a moment where she got distracted trying to save Gunnar. and a bounty hunter was trying to shoot her from the back but was killed instead by a man named Kai. Kai offered to join Korra on her quest. He even offered to let them use his ship to travel. Korra hesitated, but finally agreed to let him join. They took off in Kai's ship, headed towards General Titus. On their way, they stopped at a blacksmith shop on a planet named New Wodi, for a man named Turok. Surprisingly, Turok's legs was chained in the blacksmith shop. Korra asked Turok to join them in the fight against the Mother World. Turok was willing to join them, but he couldn't leave, because he owed the shop owner a huge sum of money, and he couldn't leave until his debt was settled. Korra also did not have the money. So the shop owner decided to challenge Turok that if he was able to ride the back of a white griffin, he will be set free, but if he can't, Korra and the other will also be chained. Turok accepted the challenge. He moved toward the griffin and told the other to leave. He persuaded the griffin with his word until he climbed on it back and take off. The griffin put up a fight after they took off, but with Turok's strength and persistence, he successfully landed the griffin. Turok was free, so he joined Korra on her quest. The next stop was on a planet named Dagus. They went to recruit a fearless swordwoman named Nemesis. As Korra approached Nemesis to ask her to join them, a crying woman came running to Nemesis asking her to save her child from a spider-like creature. Nemesis approached the creature. The upper body of this creature was human except for her eyes, and her lower body was spider. Nemesis asked her politely to set the child free, but the creature refused and even threatened to kill more children. She then attacked Nemesis and the both of them got engaged in a huge fight. While they was fighting, Gunnar sneaked past them and rescued the child. The creature put up a strong fight, but with Nemesis' 2 swords she was able to defeat the creature easily. After defeating the creature, she joined Korra's team and they moved to Pollux, the planet where General Titus reside. On their way, Korra told Gunnar of how she was promoted to the elite guard of the royal family, where she served as a friend and a special bodyguard to Princess Issa. She told Gunnar that Princess Issa was special, and that she had the ability to give life. Soon, they landed on Pollux and found General Titus lying down on the ground at the entrance of the planet arena. He was dirty as if he has not taken bath for years. Korra ordered a maid to wash him clean. After washing him, Korra then convinced him to join her team in a fight against the Mother World. General Titus agreed to join the fight in order to avenge his soldiers that was murdered by the Mother World. On their way back, they make one final stop on a planet named Charon. They went to seek help from the Blood Axes, but met the King Leviticus instead. King Leviticus told them to wait while he sent word of their arrival to the Blood Axes. Darien Bloodaxe and his sister Devra Bloodaxe was known as the Blood Axes. They had an entire army under their control, and they were known for successfully attacking the Imperium a number of times. Upon the arrival of the Blood Axes, Korra asked them to join her team in a fight against the King Gaze of the Mother World. Both of them hesitated, but finally Darien Bloodaxe decided to fight. He took a handful of his soldiers and joined Korra, while his sister Devra Bloodaxe and the rest of the soldier left the planet. On their way back to the village, Kai told Korra that he has to deliver some materials to a port, because he's not sure when he will be returning. Korra agreed and soon, they landed on a port. The port looked abandoned, except that few bounty hunter was present, but Korra did not recognize them. Meanwhile, Noble and his ship have arrived on Charon. They destroyed the place and also murdered King Leviticus. He then received call that his presence was needed somewhere, that they had few fugitives for him. Back on the port, Kai told Korra and the rest to move some crates from the ship to the port. While they was moving the crates, Korra began to notice something suspicious about that place, but before she could say a word, they had been attacked by 2 ships from above. Surprisingly to them, all the crates transform into robots and capture all of them except Kai. That was when they all knew that Kai has set them up. In that time Noble and his King Gaze arrived. He recognized everyone, one at a time. He even recognized Korra as Arthelize, and referred to her as the most wanted fugitive of them. Kai on the other hand gave Gunnar a gun, and told him to shoot Korra at the back of her head, and promised that if Gunnar do it he will not be harmed. But Gunnar quickly removed the gun from Korra's head and shoot Kai in the neck, and then set Korra free. With her skills, Korra swiftly disarmed the closest soldier and a huge fight began. Gunnar then freed Nemesis and the rest while the fight continued. Darien Bloodaxe orders some of his men to get in their ship to attack from the air, but before they could take off, they all were destroyed by one of Noble's ship. Seeing this, Darien grew infuriated. He then picked up a spear, ran towards the ship and jumped on, attempting to kill the pilot but misses him instead. Then he was shot twice before finally stabbing the pilot in the heart. But after being short he could not return. After the pilot has been killed, the ship lost control and falls into the port, separating the port into two parts. Korra and Noble were alone at one point, while all the other fighters was at another point of the divided port. Korra and Noble began to fight against each other one-on-one. Noble was a very tough opponent, but in the end Korra defeated him by parsing a stick into his left chest, breaking his neck and letting him fall off the port. After the battle they all thanked Gunnar and returned to the village on Belt. Meanwhile, a ship is seen retreating Noble body from the seashore and returning his body to the king's gaze. His skin was then peeled from the back of his head, revealing a metal structure that seems to be a robot. A tube was then placed into his head. He was then seen speaking with Balisaurus. He told Balisaurus that he has found his daughter Arthelais. Balisaurus instructed him to go back and kill everyone that stands with Arthelais, and then capture Arthelais and bring her back to him, so he can execute her himself. Back on the ship, the two doctors that inserted the tube into Noble's head used electric current to shock him as he came back to life.